Hello guys, hello friends, welcome back to the channel. BedirKM2 here. Today I'm going to show you a great Manticore game, and in the same time I want to talk about a real problem in World of Tanks. So what is the question? The question is, how and why is Wargaming ruining its own game? What do I mean? Of course, there are many problems in World of Tanks, and you know many of them. The cheat problem, the MM problem, the RNG problem, but there is another huge problem and nobody is talking about it. I wanna give you a clue. Why do light tanks completely dominate today's meta? Everyone who logs into the game lately sees the same thing. We are no longer watching a tank game. We are watching light tank warfare. Why? Why are the light tanks so dominant? Why does no one beat them in one-on-one? And the worst, why do players die without even seeing any of them? Let's break it all down, from the EBR 105 to the Manticore and the ELC even 90. There are some main core mechanics in the game: speed, armor, HP, stealth, and maneuvering. These are main mechanics. For example, you can't call this version as a main value and main mechanic, because it depends on distance and aiming, and you can't call alpha damage as core mechanic because there is reload time, but speed, armor, stealth, maneuvering, and HP are basic and main core mechanics. Many classes have just two important core mechanics. For example, a TD has armor and damage, for example Jagdpanzer E100. Or another TD has stealth and speed, for example STRV 103B. Or a heavy tank has HP and armor, for example 60 TP. And the other one has speed and DPM, for example Super Kong. But light tanks dominate because they own the three or more mechanics of the game. For example, all of them have speed, stealth, and maneuvering at the same time. For example, they all have speed, right? So they have positions, so they have spots, so they have map controls, and they have victory. And they have stealth, of course. So in World of Tanks, you can hit usually if you see something or enemy. If you see first, you win. If you can't see, you cannot win. So light tanks have insane camo values. They can see you, but you can't see them. And maneuvering, of course. You can't hit what you can't track. Heavy tanks take ages to aim and to turn their turrets. Light tanks disappear before your gun even stabilizes. So this trio, speed, stealth, agility, makes light tank king of the meta. And let's take a look to EBR 105. They are drifting demons, right? 95 kilometers per hour, and snaps your spot, circles you, and vanishes you in a few seconds. And Manticores, they are pure invisibility. Sees without being even seen. Controls entire flank alone. And of course you know ELC even 90. If you understand the game even a little, and the enemy team has one of these three tanks, while yours doesn't, you already know before the match even starts that you are probably going to lose. And there is another question: who wins in one-on-one situation? At the end of the game, and there is a light tank and you in the game, who wins? A heavy tank? A tank destroyer? A medium tank? Or a light tank? What would you choose? Which tank class you would like to see in front of you in the very end of the game? A heavy tank can't even see a light tank. You can't shoot what you can't detect. Armor doesn't matter if the enemy doesn't exist on your screen. So light tanks can definitely destroy heavy tanks. And same idea is acceptable for medium tanks too. And TDs? TDs are just a toy in the light tank's hands at the very end of the game. So nobody can see them and nobody hits them back. Only a light tank can resist another light tank. And I got another question. Why map designs favors light tanks? Most maps are open, semi-open, bushy, and they have long sightlines. A few maps like Ansk or Himmelsdorf, they are all open. And light tanks usually opens the game. Heavy tanks are struggling all the time, and TDs are dying without firing. Why is this happening, Wargaming? And plus, why does Wargaming keep buffing them? Wargaming has just given lights more HP, better aim time, better shell velocity, better camo, better stabilization. And the meta is already unbalanced, and Wargaming makes it worse. In summary, light tanks now control everything. They see, they scout, they escape, they flank, and they decide the match outcome. Wargaming's design decisions have turned light tanks into the rulers of World of Tanks. Are you watching the game? What did the Manticore do here? How far did it travel? How many shells did it fire? How many times did it try to aim? How much did it push its eyes and brain and reflexes? It didn't. It simply went to the two spots it had memorized, and finished the match with 21k spotting damage. What light tanks did the enemy have? The German RSM light tank. Can it compete with the Manticore? Of course not. The Manticore first used the imbalance within its own class to get the RSM killed, and then used the interclass imbalance to take over the entire match. And it did it so easily. As a result, Wargaming released 2.0 without fixing matchmaking or addressing the game's cheating issues. Yes, it initially brought in new players, and the update was attractive, but Wargaming couldn't keep those players and the players' numbers started to drop. The only thing new or returning players kept asking was, how did I die instantly? If Wargaming doesn't want to rip off its own tracks, it must nerf all light tanks and urgently fix the matchmaking and cheating problems. And of course, these are my personal thoughts. Please share your own opinions in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Take care.